Hi, I'm Millie. My husband, Jonty, and I, along with our 2 kids, Milo and Aspen, moved to Singapore from the UK in the middle of 2020, during the height of the global pandemic. Singapore ranks as the 20th smallest country in the world, and we are enjoying exploring every kilometre of it, finding the extraordinary wonders in our everyday lives. Welcome to Wonderlust.
Good morning. Hello. I know what to do. These must be the crazy box too. I went in the cave and got all the rubies. I got a trillion.
Built in 1975, Changi Village Hawker Centre was part of a government initiative to create a leisure and recreation district and is still very popular today. Hello, we've had a really lazy Saturday this morning. Jonty's parents are staying with us from the UK, which is really lovely to spend time with them and spend some time with the grandkids as well. So we hopped in a taxi and made our way here. We've got some drinks. Jonty's gone for a coconut water and I've gone for a lychee drink, and I love it because you get the fresh fruit in the bottom. The kids have got food. I'm trying to encourage them to go and order themselves and get used to like paying and change, things like that. Milo got Nasi Lemak and Aspen went for roast pork, which is one of her favourite things to eat, with the noodles.
So Millie totally reckons that she's a bit of a Nasi Lemak connoisseur. So she has gone to queue up at the longest queue she could find. She's assuming it's the best, which is usually the case in Singapore. But I find it quite funny. I've been sat here probably for about 20 minutes. I finished my meal and she's still not back yet. So it better be good, better be worth the wait. We'll see when she gets back. Here she comes. Better be worth the wait.
Yeah, gonna find out if it's worth the 10-minute wait. The queue is even longer
10.
behind me. Huh?
Not 10.
10? Yeah, 10
20.
minutes. 20?
It's been ages.
20? Okay. While I was waiting, the guy was counting how many people in the queue. I think there's another 10 behind me, and he's cracking the eggs into a huge pot full of oil, so the eggs are just like fried in oil. It's gotta be getting warmer. I didn't want to mix it up in case it was like super blow my head on the
I just told everybody that you're a Nasi Lemak connoisseur and now you're like
I wanted to try
disappointing me.
It's really good.
When they're near our table.
Yeah. We finished our lunch and now we're going to go and head and get a bus to go to the Changi Museum, which is something that we've never actually done before. Aspen, how was your lunch?
Good.
How was your lunch?
My favourite part was the Econ Village, so I mostly ate all of it. I didn't even leave a single piece, not even a tail.
This behind me is the only Changi tree in the whole country at the moment. This Changi tree used to be native to this area and there were loads of them. The whole place was littered with these things and they grew up to 76 meters tall. They were huge. But during the First World War, it was assumed that these huge trees would just draw too much attention, and so they were all cut down. While this is the only one at the moment, they are planting a few more at Botanic Gardens and at the Gardens by the Bay, and hopefully we'll see a return of these trees. This one's only 20 years old, and at 50 years old, it'll be a fully grown tree. So another 30 years to go, and this thing will be looking 76 meters tall. We're here at the Changi Chapel and Museum. We're really excited to come and check it out today and find out a little bit about Singapore's history, particularly in the First and Second World Wars.
The recently revamped Changi Chapel and Museum takes you on a journey through time through visual and audio displays, artifacts and replicas. Interactive displays give you a chance to find out more at your own pace about Singapore's history in the war. I was born in Norfolk, as were the children, so Jonty and I met, and there's a little bit of information here. It just says Royal Norfolk, and I've looked it up a little bit more, and it is actually talking about Norfolk in the UK. UK, and the soldiers were sent over, crossing the seas for days and weeks just to get here. Some of the Norfolk Battalion were stationed in Ubin. So yeah, I find it really interesting that there's like a little slice of the little village that I was born in, Norfolk, here over all the way to Singapore.
This is a door. And it can open.
What do you think the door's for?
I don't know.
Don't know? What does
Maybe
this say?
they said it's the
What does this say? What does this word say? Prison door.
This is a real Changi prison door, and it's kind of eerie to think of the prisoners of war who were stuck behind this door, unable to get out. And we had a little peek through, and Millie got a fright because Aspen was actually around the other side. Millie didn't realise that you could go through to inside the cell, so we'll check it out now.
When we went to Labrador Park recently, I enjoyed reading all the little bits of information they had there about the war, and I'm loving learning a little bit more about it because I didn't really know a lot. But it's quite sobering when you see the real cell here and door and how it would have been, and to think about all the things that those men would have gone through, and some of the families that were sent over as well. It wasn't just men, it was women and children. So I am enjoying finding out a little bit more about it, although it is, you know, it's war, it's sad. I think it's important for our children to know about it and the place and the country that they now live in. Some of the information here, it seems like that a lot of the prisoners in Changi kind of turned to themselves for everything. They used like bicycle spokes to make needles. They started growing their own vegetables and fruit and fruits, catching chickens if they came into the compound and things like that. And eventually lots of the prisoners were given land so that they could continue to grow their own crops, and they kind of came together, I guess, to create their own little village and community within the prison, which on one hand sounds like a really nice thing to happen out of these really awful circumstances they were thrown into, forcibly to work, manual labour, build train tracks, and yeah, things like that. So it's really sobering to go around and read all of the history here. This quilt is an exact replica of one that was made by women in the prisoner camps, and they had taken like little bits of bedding, and the women had made each square unique to their own, and they sent it to soldiers that were in the hospitals, and each square was designed by the women, and they also used it as a way to communicate, to kind of let their husbands know that they were alive, to send kind of images specific to them out of where they were being held.
After the Japanese surrendered Singapore, the RAF came back here to Singapore in 1946, and this is an image of the runways at Changi, which has become Changi Airport, which is amazing. That's where we're going real soon to meet my parents.
This church here is a remodel of the St George's Church that would have actually been built, and it also tells you some information about some of the other churches that the prisoners of war built, and they actually dismantled them and they took them back with them to their home countries because the churches meant that much to them when they were, you know, in the camps, which is an amazing fact that they dismantled them and take them back. And the one in the prisoner of war would have been built out of just any kind of wood they could find because they wouldn't have been able to have access to all of the resources, and it became a real community hub for people in the prison.
Do they still have church here?
I don't think so, darling.
This cross was made from casings from a gun shell, and it was engraved with the spike of an umbrella, and if you look really closely you can clearly see where it's kind of been like knocked in and bashed to make the engraving at the bottom. So when the Reverend went back home, the cross was returned with him back to Cheltenham, which is in the UK, and then it's been permanently donated back to its place right here. Out here where the chapel is, there's a beautiful installation all made with reclaimed recycled wood, and there's 598 pieces to represent the fallen prisoners of war, which I think is a really nice way to end it. with like a kind of note on hope, like with the church that so many of the men, women and children kind of clung onto while they were through here. And so all of the pieces of wood are just a really lovely memory of all of those people.
We're now at Changi Airport.
From one area of Changi to another, we've come to the Jewel to come and meet Junty's mum for some dinner. Christmas decorations are up in here, which makes me feel a little bit happy about that. This will be another tropical Christmas for us, and I have to say, as much as I love autumn, wrapping up nice and warm, tropical Christmases are definitely the way to go. Coming to Changi Airport, we've had a wander around, watching all the lights as they change. The Christmas decorations are up. It's really nice having Junty's parents about with us. So we took them to Lenu, which is one of our favourite places to have beef noodles. I tried their wontons in pork bone soup, and it was really good. Unfortunately, Junty was on a different table, so I couldn't share it with him. Thanks for watching. Give us a subscribe and a follow over on Instagram if you want to see some of the other things we get up and some of the reels from our Ice Cream Fridays. And if you go, do think to tag us so that we can see what you get up to as well. Bye!